Okay, so motorsports affects road cars because motorsports is often called the crucible of automotive design. With the high levels of competition in different types of motorsports, you get innovations and you get amounts. Teams will do a lot of research into things that are cutting edge or difficult that you wouldn't normally do in a production car because it's too expensive or too difficult to try to figure out. As far as safety goes, this is super important if you go back to some of the earlier histories of motorsports, where we developed things like seatbelts. First seatbelts were developed because racers wanted to be able to steer and control the car without sliding all over the place. So they literally started belting themselves down just so they wouldn't fall over when they would turn hard or brake hard. Those safeties then migrated down to consumer cars because then people realized, hey, I would like to be safe as well. You get further developments with things like the integrated safety cell. This was developed during the Formula One era in the late 60s and early 70s. Formula One cars are really fast, especially compared to road cars of the same time period. And so one of the things that would happen was whenever they would crash, the speeds were so much higher that it was a lot more dangerous for the drivers than in a normal road car. So one of the things they developed is they learned that if they made a really strong structure that surrounded the driver and then made the rest of the car so that it would collapse, they could absorb the energies in the collapsing parts, but then resist stuff from actually touching the driver inside the safety cell. Modern cars are designed in a similar fashion, where the edges of the cars are made to crumple, we call them crumple zones, to absorb the energy, whereas the safety cell of the car, the place where the people are actually at, is made super strong so that the people aren't impinged and stuff doesn't come in and actually affect them. So that's why, like in a car crash today, you might hit something with the front of your car and the front of your hood and everything will be all crushed and stuff will fly off, but you can still open the door. The door is inside that safety cell, and so the door frame isn't deformed at all. Whereas in the past, if you had an impact with that, the impact forces would be transmitted throughout the whole car, and then the door would be crushed in a way that you wouldn't be able to open it up, and then the passenger inside would also have to worry about things like the steering wheel hitting them or the roof hitting them or things like that. So we've had a lot of those same types of advances. We've also had advances in safety that originally in motorsports were meant to make the cars go faster, and we realized that there was actually a safety benefit as well. A good example of that is like ABS braking. In ABS braking, the brake pulses really fast, and now what that does is it keeps the wheel turning, which makes cars stop in shorter distances. It also allows the driver to maintain a degree of control. You can still turn while you're braking. This is a huge advantage in safety because it allows you to stop shorter and to still make emergency avoidance maneuvers while braking. In racing, this allowed the drivers to brake later and turn better and drive faster. So in racing, it was purely a competitive advantage. In fact, most modern racing series outlaw ABS braking because it's so easy and works so well. But for road cars, that's great safety tech. And there's countless examples of where we've got this kind of overlap between a competitive sport and then a consumer product that is the same foundation, the same physics applies, the same science applies, but where we take the motorsports where you're looking for a competitive edge, you can apply that in the real world to other types of advantages like efficiency standards or safety.